I've never been much of a hiker. Going on walks through nature has always been something I do on someone else's suggestion, and in the summer of 2022, this pattern repeated itself. My sister-in-law has become an avid nature walker and invited us to go hiking on Mary's Peak. It was really rough going, but we reached the top and I was taken in by the beauty, the views and the silence and the flowers and butterflies. And so when 2023 rolled around, I made a New Year's resolution. I was going to hike 23 unique trails in 2023, 2 hikes per month, totally manageable. January started off great. We visited my sister and went to the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum, where they have the half-mile desert loop trail. Unfortunately, my hard drive lost the footage I had so beautifully taken, which is why you're seeing pictures of the other exhibits at the museum and footage my husband took. Regardless, in the cool by Arizona standards weather, I felt optimistic about my chances of achieving my goal. I felt like I could prioritize going outside, discovering new places, getting fresh air, and enjoying my environment. Unfortunately, when we returned to the rainy Pacific Northwest in the winter months, we realized it was a bit too soggy to really hike. I knew this pain from trying to hike Cherry Creek Falls back in 2021, so we waited until March. Some friends of ours were visiting, and so we recommended going to hike in Gold Creek Park, a spot we found during lockdown. Even though we had hiked this spot several times, there was something wonderful about sharing it with someone else. Next up was April 4th. By this point, we'd realized we'd have to catch up on our hikes, and quickly. We'd been to Denny Creek multiple times during lockdown as well. It's an absolutely beautiful trail with a creek running through it, naturally, given its name, and the remains of the one-time largest tree in King County is there with a commemorative plaque.
This side of the trail is a little calmer. Oh, I am tired. You hit the bridge and you're like starting to be tired, and then on the other side the uphill is pretty intense, but then eventually you reach the top of that uphill and you're exhausted and you stop and rest, and then the rest is this very nice sloping downhill.
At the end of the hiking loop, there's the park of Denny Creek Park on the edge of Lake Washington, and since we were tired, we took a rest looking over the water. It can often be really stressful to share your resolutions with someone else. We worry it makes us vulnerable, or that the people we tell might judge us. But one of the joys of sharing your resolutions is that sometimes other people might want to help you achieve them. For us, it was my parents. They love going on walks, and living outside of Portland, they have found many walks to do. And since they knew we wanted to go on unique hikes, they took us on some.
Here's the deal. James and I wanted to do 23 hikes in 2023, and right now it is July, and we have done 4 hikes, maybe 5. The good news is that it is July, and it is good weather now, and we're doing a trip to visit some family, and all of our family really likes doing hikes. So I think we're gonna try doing 3 hikes this week.
Next up was traveling Oregon Route 33 and stopping on a bunch of hikes along the way.
Here's what I'm currently wondering. Originally, I was going to count all of today as one hike, but La Tourelle Falls, I mean, it's a tiny hike, but it might count on its own. And if we count everything today that could be considered a hike individually, then maybe we'll get closer to reaching like 12 hikes, which for this far in the year would be really nice.
Wow. After Portland, we drove down into Oregon to spend the week with my sister-in-law again. And since she'd already taken us to Mary's Peak, we instead went to the McDonald Dunn Trail, a beautiful forest full of new and old growth.
Depending on how we count, we're either on the 3rd hike this week or the 5th. I think based on how I'm counting it. So it's September and we haven't hiked since July. At this point, I've pretty much accepted that there's no way that we're getting 23 hikes done this year, but that's okay. I still think it'll be an interesting video showing how the year has gone through hikes.
In October, one of my college friends visited and we offered to take her to St. Edward State Park, which had a gorgeous hike down to the lake. I think at this point, I knew it was the last hike I'd be doing in 2023, which put my total generously at 10. And thinking back over this made me wonder why I even cared. Why did I make this goal if only to abandon it so quickly? Or rather, why make a goal that would be so hard to keep? What was the point of it? New Year's resolutions are so guilt-inducing, even for a fun one like this. Every time I remembered I wanted to do 23 hikes, I felt bad that I wasn't on track, whatever that meant. If anything, having the unique hike goal meant that I didn't go on repeat hikes. I haven't been back to Gold Creek or Denny Creek, two of our mainstays, since taking that footage because if I was going on a hike, it had to be a new hike. And then, just to stick the dagger in further, I lost a bunch of cool footage. So why did I do any of it? Why did I even make this video? But as I recount the story, it becomes obvious to me. Back when I started formulating the goal on top of Mary's Peak, I wasn't thinking about doing it for views or stats or other numbers. I wanted to do it to see beautiful natural sights, to spend time with friends and family, to keep my cardio up so I can keep seeing the world and spending time with loved ones. And I accomplished some of that in 2023. This week, a friend invited me to catch up on a hike. They are an avid nature walker, and while the hike wasn't far, it was new to me. The forest was beautiful, and it was lovely to see it waking up from its long slumber. I told them about this video, and they asked if I was going to try for 24 hikes in 2024. And I said no, but that I do want to keep trying to hike. Because of my gallbladder surgery so close to the end of 2023, I haven't quite kept up with making resolutions this year, but I think I know what matters: doing cool things with cool people. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers!